She had given birth 4 days ago, but something was terribly wrong. The puppies were not gaining weight. They were cold to the touch. And their mother, a golden retriever named Hazel, had stopped eating. She just lay there in the corner of that small, worn-out shelter kennel, pressing her body around her 5 puppies as if she were the last warm thing left on Earth. And maybe, in that moment, she was. The Millbrook County Animal Rescue was not a glamorous place. It was a converted barn on the edge of a quiet Virginia town, held together by duct tape, donated funds, and the tireless love of a woman named Donna Kelso. Donna was 61 years old. She had run the shelter for 19 years without a single paid day off. Her hair was always pulled back in a practical ponytail. Her hands were perpetually calloused. And she had a habit of talking to the animals the way most people talk to their closest friends. Because for Donna, they were. When Hazel had arrived 3 weeks before her delivery, Donna had taken one look at her terrified brown eyes and said, out loud to no one in particular, "You found your way here. That means you are already safe." But now, as the 5th morning after the birth arrived, and the puppies still weren't thriving, Donna stood in the doorway of the kennel feeling something she hadn't felt in years. Fear. She had called 2 veterinarians. She had adjusted the heating pads. She had hand-fed Hazel chicken broth from a dropper. Nothing was working. The puppies were fading not dramatically, but quietly. The way a fire goes out when there is no one left to tend it. And Donna's shelter account held $47. It was a Tuesday morning. Gray and cold, when a truck she didn't recognize pulled into the gravel drive. The man who stepped out was tall, maybe mid-40s, with the kind of stillness that didn't come from laziness, but from years of learning exactly when to move and when to wait. He wore a plain gray flannel shirt, work boots, and a worn baseball cap. He carried a large box. His name was Marcus Webb, and Donna had never seen him before in her life. "I heard you might need some help," he said at the door. His voice was steady, unhurried. Donna looked at the box. "What is all that?" "Puppy milk replacer. High-calorie formula. A heating blanket, the kind used for newborns. And some medication a vet friend of mine said might help if the mother is experiencing what I think she might be experiencing." Donna stared at him. "Who are you?" He set the box down carefully. "I live about 12 miles out. Former Navy SEAL. I've been out for 7 years." He paused and looked past her toward the kennels. "I foster dogs. Mostly the ones that nobody thinks can be saved." He had heard about Donna's shelter through a notice on a local community board, just 5 lines about a litter of puppies in trouble. He had loaded his truck before sunrise. Marcus wasn't there to take over. He was very clear about that. He pulled a stool up next to Hazel's kennel, opened his box, and began showing Donna the techniques he had learned from veterinarians and animal behaviors over 7 years of fostering. He had fostered 39 dogs. He had lost 3. He remembered every single one of their names. "In the SEAL teams," he said quietly, as his hands worked with practiced ease, warming the formula to exactly the right temperature, we had a saying. You don't leave your teammate behind because they became weak. You leave everything behind to make sure they don't stay that way. He wrapped the smallest puppy a Tiny. Run-of-a-thing Donna had privately named Ghost because she feared the little one might disappear in the new heated blanket, and held him against his chest for 40 minutes without moving. His breathing slow and even, creating warmth through contact alone. Donna sat across from him, watching, not saying a word. At minute 42, Ghost made a sound. A small, indignant, very much alive sound. Hazel lifted her head. And Donna Kelso, who had not cried in front of an animal in years because she had learned that her calm was what they needed from her, pressed her hand over her mouth and let the tears fall silently. Marcus came back the next morning. And the morning after that. By the end of the week, all 5 puppies were nursing. Hazel had started eating again. Ghost, the smallest, had doubled his weight and had developed a personality so large that the name no longer suited him at all. Donna renamed him Thunder. Marcus never asked for anything in return. But on his 5th visit, When Donna pressed an envelope into his hands, a thank you card signed by every volunteer at the shelter, he opened it slowly, read it, and was quiet for a long moment. "Why do you do it?" Donna asked him. "Foster, after everything you've seen." He thought about it seriously, the way people do when a question deserves a real answer. "Because," he said, "when you spent years in a world where so much is destruction, you develop this need, almost a physical need, to be part of something that builds instead. Something that grows." He looked at the kennel where Thunder was now wrestling enthusiastically with his siblings. "These animals don't know my past. They just know right now. And right now, I'm the person who shows up." Donna looked at him. "That's all any of us can be." In the weeks that followed, Marcus helped Donna launch a small online campaign for the shelter. Within a month, all 5 puppies had been adopted into loving homes. Thunder went to a family with 2 young boys who immediately renamed him Captain. He was, everyone agreed, completely fine with that. Hazel was adopted by a retired school teacher named Ruth, who lived alone with a big yard and an even bigger heart. And Marcus? He signed on as the shelter's first ever official fostering coordinator. 19 years in, Donna Kelso finally had a partner. Here's what I want you to take with you today. Help doesn't always come with a grand announcement. Sometimes it arrives in a worn truck before sunrise, carrying a box of things someone quietly decided you needed. Sometimes the most powerful force in the world is simply a person who shows up. Marcus Webb learned in the hardest school imaginable that strength isn't about what you endure. It's about what you choose to build. After Dot and Donna, Kelso learned that asking for help, even just a notice on a community board, is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you still believe rescue is possible. So if today feels heavy, remember this: someone is already on their way. If this story moved you, please give it a like. It helps more people find stories like this one. Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for new stories every week. And in the comments, tell me, who showed up for you when you needed it most? I read every single one. Until next time, take care of yourself and of each other.